Hey everyone, we have yet another upgrade to the Air line of buds from SoundPEATS with the Air3. No True in the name this time around, but they have definitely been upgraded, especially when it comes to sound quality, and downgraded at the same time, like mainly in the size, the case and the earbuds, but some features as well. But today I'll be comparing these to the TrueAir2 and the TrueAir2 Plus, so let's get straight into it. If you want to grab any pairs, links are down below, as well as timestamps, because as usual here, we're going in depth. So if you're picky with your audio, so am I. Let's get into another picky review. Alright, starting with design, we have the exact same build quality here, but with three major differences. First, the placement of the magnets are now on the bottom of the stem, since the buds rest down in the case instead of flat in the case. Second, the stem here is noticeably smaller, but the rest of the bud, the actual part that rests in your ear canal, is the exact same size. And they've actually gotten rid of the indicator light completely. So if you didn't like the LED staying lit when music was paused, well, now it's gone completely, which I personally don't mind. So following on with the exact same design, this means you're getting the exact same fit, just with a little bit less stem. So same great fit the TrueAir2 had, still one of the best budget semi-in-ear earbud fits you can get with the compact design that these buds have. And it still surprises me to this day how well these buds stay in my ear, even if I'm kind of like shaking my head around when they feel like they should kind of just fall out. So basically, if you like this semi-in-ear fit, you're good to go. And if you like using your earbuds when training, these have an IPX water resistant rating, so fine for a bit of sweat, bit of water, use in the rain. You just can't submerge the buds in water. Now onto the biggest change here, and that's with the case, because this case is incredibly tiny. The TrueAir2 was one of the most compact cases out there, but they say this case is 10% smaller, but it actually looks smaller than 10% to me at least. It's the smallest case out of any True wireless earbud that I've ever tested. But with that reduction in size does mean a reduction in battery life, dropping down to a total of 17.5 hours compared to the 25 hours from the TrueAir2 and the TrueAir2 Plus. Still on all pairs, the bud battery life is at 5 hours, which is quite impressive considering they did shrink down the stem quite a bit. But I'm currently running my test here, so I'll chuck up all the results for the TrueAir2, TrueAir2 Plus, and the Air3. No fast charge on any of the pairs. Also no wireless charging this time around, which was a little bit of an interesting choice because the TrueAir2 Plus does have wireless charging. But you are getting an LED indicator on the front of the case right above the pairing button there. And this will flash green if your case is at 50 to 100%. It'll flash yellow, 10 to 49%, and under 10%, it'll flash red. The build quality is pretty decent here. Same materials as the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus. So magnets are nice and strong. The hinge is a little bit flimsy though, but that means you can do that flicky thing with the case opening and closing if you are into that. Only con, I found it was a little bit tricky to take the earbuds in and out of the case, mainly because they're angled in, so you got to take it out, rotate it, and then chuck it in your ear. But you do get used to it after a little bit, and when you do take the earbuds out of the case, they connect nice and quick to your phone in under 6 seconds. Now onto controls, you're getting the exact same controls as the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus. So this means you can control everything, including volume. You do get a subtle beep feedback when you play and pause and skip tracks, but still the sensitivity here is a little bit too sensitive because I still notice when adjusting the earbuds at the top of the stem, it's quite easy to accidentally increase your volume or skip a track, which was the same case on the TrueAir2 and the 2 Plus. So an easy fix is to just grab the earbud by the stem when you are putting them in your ear, but even when taking them out, I still find I just like to adjust my earbud at the top and the bottom to get them in my ear nice and securely, but sadly that is still a slight con there. Not a deal breaker, but worth mentioning. A new addition here though that the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus don't have is in-ear detection. So when you take one earbud out or both out, music will pause, chuck them back in your ears, and music will resume. This works pretty well in my testing, but I did find when I took one earbud out and chucked it on my desk face down, so the sensor was facing towards the desk, this did think that the earbud was in an ear, and then music started playing again. And sadly, you can't turn this feature on or off because SoundPEATS still don't have an app, which it should be kind of out now. They've kind of mentioned it a couple times, so hopefully app support does come soon. And another feature here that I've never seen on any True wireless earbud is how the in-ear detection works with calls. So when you're on a call, if you take one earbud out, the mic will automatically switch to the bud that is still in your ear. And when you take both buds out, it'll automatically switch to your phone's microphone. And in my testing, taking both buds out, this did work and it used the built-in microphone on the phone itself. But when taking one earbud out, this was a little bit glitchy in my testing. I'm gonna run through a couple extra tests here just to double check this, but I'm gonna chuck in a quick test of this where I had called myself on another phone, had my phone in another room, and I was recording what I was doing. So I'll chuck up this test so you can kind of hear how it works.
All right, so now I'm currently on a phone call, recording that phone call in another room. You can see I've got both earbuds in my ears and running up and downstairs, so I am a little bit out of breath, but basically, when I take both earbuds out of my ear, this should now transfer to my phone microphone. So, yeah, pretty sure that is. I can see it on my phone there. And when I chuck the earbuds in the ear, this should now transfer to the earbuds, which it has. And same thing, when I just take one earbud out, hold it under my chair here, this should only be using the left earbud microphone. Don't know why you'd want to do this, but it's there anyway. Right one goes back in, and now both microphones should be used. In my testing before, it didn't work, so we'll see how this goes. This is like my third, fourth time doing it. The left earbud comes out under the chair. Now the right earbud should be the only earbud that is working. Left earbud goes back in, and now both earbuds should be being used, basically. So hopefully this actually does work.
Now to connectivity, you got the same Qualcomm 3040 chip here with Bluetooth 5.2, SBC, AAC aptX, and same as the TrueAir2 Plus, aptX adaptive, which wasn't seen on the original TrueAir2, which is a nice feature to have because I thought it would only help with Android devices that did use aptX, but in my testing on the TrueAir2 Plus, I did notice better latency results even on my iPhone 12 Pro. But this is where things get a little bit confusing because when the TrueAir2 came out, they didn't have a low latency gaming mode. And then the TrueAir2 Plus came out, they had a low latency gaming mode. Then I think SoundPEATS released the TrueAir2 again, but without really telling anyone that had a game mode. And some people were getting game mode, some people weren't getting game mode. But anyway, the Air3 here does have a low latency game mode. So you're getting pretty much the exact same connectivity as the TrueAir2 Plus. So basically, in terms of latency, YouTube, Netflix, all that kind of stuff, no latency to be seen. When it does come to gaming, this is going to get a little bit tricky. I've already done testing of latency on the TrueAir2 and TrueAir Plus, so I haven't done my testing on the Air3 yet, but I'll run all the latency tests here, and I'm going to chuck it up on the screen so you can see all the differences there. And I'm expecting if the Air3 has the exact same aptX adaptive chip, then it should be the exact same as the TrueAir2 Plus. So hopefully these results kind of show that for you there. And if you're interested as to how I run these latency tests, I'll leave a link down below to a video by Kenneth Tanaka, the one and only, who basically has a tutorial on how to do this. So thank you, Ken. All right, now let's run through the microphone test. I found the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus have the exact same microphone, so I'll just compare the 2 Plus and the Air3 here. So I'll chuck up those tests here so you can hear for yourself. All right, so here's a microphone test with the SoundPEATS Air3. I'm just in a nice quiet room at the moment. And this is what it sounds like with some crowd noise being played quite loud off my bookshelf desktop speakers right here. All right, and here is a microphone test with the SoundPEATS TrueAir2 Plus, also in a nice quiet room. And this is what the TrueAir2 Plus sounds like with the same crowd noise being played off my bookshelf speakers. All right, so here we are in the outside world with the SoundPEATS Air3 on a nice, busy and loud highway here. We should really put these microphones to the test. So hopefully my voice is getting picked up quite well and all the noise is getting blocked out behind me. All right, so here we are with the SoundPEATS TrueAir2 Plus. I feel like the microphones are very identical here in my testing inside, but outside with all this noise going on behind me, or there was a second ago, hopefully some more cars zoom past here so you can get an idea of the microphones, but I feel like it's pretty close. All right, before we talk about sound quality, a quick little drop on my Instagram here. If you want to stay updated with behind the scenes action of me and my audio ventures, the link is down below. All right, on to sound quality. Now, both the TrueAir2 and the 2 Plus have the exact same sound quality, which is still the best sound quality you can get at this budget price in the semi-in-ear earbud world. And they're bringing you sound quality that almost is on par with the AirPods, which are still one of the best semi-in-ear sounding earbuds there. But look, these are like a quarter of the price. But anyway, SoundPEATS have managed to improve on the already great sound with the Air 3 here. It's not a massive improvement, but you're getting a decent 10-15% improvement overall. The biggest improvement though is with the bass, because it's very hard, it seems, to get a nice amount of low end with this semi-in-ear fit. And the TrueAir2 and TrueAir Plus still had the most amount of bass at this budget price, but the Air 3 push it forward a little bit more. And it does go a long way, but just keep in mind, like comparing this kind of design of an earbud to any in-ear earbud, you're gonna be getting more bass on any in-ear earbud at pretty much any price, unless it's like complete trash. So just keep that in mind going forward. Now, the improvement on the Air 3, it's kind of more noticeable in that mid bass. It seems to be a little bit more boost there. So I found this really did help with like distorted guitars. They just have a little bit more oomph, a little bit more depth as well. And this is the same with bass lines, with any instrumentation, like in metal, rock, in jazz, classical as well, with the string instruments that hit in those deeper frequencies. And this also carries over to electronic music, synths that have a little bit of extra low end to them. But keep in mind, the boost isn't really in that deeper sub bass. There's maybe the tiniest bit of extra sub bass in there, but look, it's just hard to get sub bass with this kind of design of earbuds. So like on drops in EDM, trap and dubstep and that kind of stuff, hard style as well, there's a little bit of a boost in that sub bass, but still a little bit lacking compared to in-ear earbuds. But the great thing about this boost in that mid bass is how it carries over to the mid range as well, which has also been improved quite a bit, but more importantly, how much better vocals sound here as well. So now vocals have a more full sound, they're a bit richer, and the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus sound a little bit thin compared. This also carries over to percussion with tom hits as well as synths and electronic music. They come through with a bit more attack, a little bit more presence as well. The only thing that wasn't improved is the treble, which is not a bad thing because the treble was already really solid here, but now that the bass and the mids are a little bit better, this does dial the treble just behind them ever so slightly, which at least for my ears is a bit of an improvement, because when you venture to those higher volumes above like 70%, the treble doesn't get as harsh as the TrueAir2 and the 2 Plus. And speaking of volume, you're also getting about an extra half a notch here compared to the TrueAir2 and 2 Plus, and they were already incredibly loud at like 90%. You go any louder than that, you're going to go deaf. So you're getting a little bit of extra volume here on the Air 3, but you didn't really need it, but it's there anyway. And keep in mind, this is tested on Spotify, which are one of the quietest streaming services. If you use Apple Music, for example, then these will just be too loud, basically. You get like another 3 extra clicks of volume when you use Apple Music. Now, in terms of soundstage and instrument separation, it's the same here compared to the 2 and the 2 Plus. But they were already very nice. Like with semi-in-ear earbuds, soundstage is generally a little bit wider due to that fit. So it was already great. And it's nice to see the instrument separation is still quite good considering the extra boost in the bass. So really awesome stuff here from SoundPEATS. I would love to compare these to AirPods, but I don't currently. I would just borrow them to compare them to other earbuds because I don't really use them, to be honest. So I feel like now SoundPEATS would at least be on par, if not potentially exceed the sound quality that the AirPods have. So if it is a budget AirPods alternative you're looking for, these are now the best out there. Now, if you're looking to upgrade the TrueAir2 or 2 Plus, really depends if you want that extra sound quality bump up at the loss of a bit of battery life, but you do get that incredibly tiny case. But if you own the original TrueAir that came out like maybe 2 years ago or whatever, then this is 100% worth the upgrade. All right, thanks for tuning in. If you like your SoundPEATS, I'm gonna leave my SoundPEATS ranked video up here where I compare 16 SoundPEATS earbud, all the SoundPEATS earbuds that I own in the one video. So be sure to check that out. But in the meantime, stay tuned and of course, stay picky with your audio because life's too short for crappy sound. See you in the next video. Bye now.